Hi, I'm Buck. I'm here with my friend Amy, and we are here to put the fun back into your dysfunctional lives. I am diagnosed with bipolar and anxiety. I've been in therapy or psychiatric care since I was in fourth grade. I have obsessive compulsive disorder, and I am here with my friend Amy, who is a therapist.
And I am a therapist, as Buck said, with over 35 years of experience. I'm sort of winding down nowadays, but I'm still have therapist brain, and I also have MS brain. So I've been battling multiple sclerosis since '96, and I'm now been living with it for half my life. I figured out. So and soon it will overtake. It will become more of my life has been spent with MS than without MS, and it's a little freaky. But I'm still on my feet. But here we are today. I've known Buck since I was in seventh grade. So I was like 13 years old. So very long running relationship here. So and Buck, what was the most dysfunctional thing that happened to you this week?
Okay. So I had an audition for a brand new video game, which I can't tell you what it is. And the character I loved because it's a lot like Mordred in Camelot.
Oh,
He's full of anger and hate and all this stuff. And it's a battle game where you have to battle these evil creatures. So, which is every video game.
yeah. I was gonna say that's
Yeah, it's
novel.
pretty much every video game. Anyway, so I got there, and I love the person that does because they have a sound booth. So I do all my self tapes there, my video and my audio. And Beatrice is great. She is a trans person. She just finished, I think, her last operation. She's a really great director, and she's very encouraging and stuff like that. Anyway, so I walk in, I have to go to the bathroom, and I come back, and she said, "Are you ready to go?" And I said yes. And then I went into my coat pocket to get my script, and it wasn't there.
Oh no.
It
Oh
wasn't there.
no.
And I was like, and I didn't send her a copy. I mean, I
Oh
could
no.
have, I could have found it on my emails and done it. She could have printed it out. But then I couldn't find my phone.
Oh, that's not
My
good.
phone was gone.
Oh no.
And so I got really upset, and she kept saying,
Yeah.
breathe and, calm down. And I was just like, what am I going to do? I have to leave. I have to find my phone. I can't do the audition. I have to go find it. I must have dropped it. And she was like, just sit down. She was really good. Sit down and just
Um.
breathe. Just
Yes.
breathe. And so she's walking around trying to calm me down.
Yeah.
And there's like a bookshelf, a bookcase. And on top of the bookcase is my script and my
Your phone.
phone because I had taken it out before I hung up my jacket. It's right by the coat rack.
Oh
So
my goodness.
but your phone is
Yeah.
black
Oh yeah. You
and the
didn't see it.
bookshelf is black
Right.
and the script was under the phone. So I didn't even see it. So she just kind of went
That's
like
so
this.
frustrating. Here it is.
And I was
You're
like,
good.
oh my God.
Yep.
I said, I'm
So, but she's
so,
right. Sit down, calm yourself. Because if
yeah.
you had sat and breathed for a minute and been calmer, then you could have thought, "Oh, I remember now. I took
But
it
I
out."
didn't
You
remember.
know,
I do
you didn't remember.
things. I don't know if
Yeah,
you do
that's
this.
an
I
attention
do
problem.
things where I put things down
Yeah.
and I'm not even conscious
Oh yeah,
of
that
doing
happens
it.
all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're
Yeah, and
like,
that's
where
that
did that
people go,
go?
I think I'm having a memory issue. I'm like, no, that's an attention issue. That's because you're not paying attention.
Right.
You know? That's
Right.
why if there's something that's important that you need to remember that you did, like turn off the stove, say it in your head, I am turning off the stove. Because
Right.
then you'll remember that you did it.
Right.
But if you just like turn it off without thinking, then you're gonna go, could I turn it on?
Yeah.
So same thing with this. It's an
Yeah.
attention problem.
But
You
I
know,
mean,
if you had said to yourself, I'm putting my phone on top of the shelf, you would have remembered.
yeah.
Anyway, but you weren't
But
thinking.
I panicked. So I went and
Yeah.
checked the bathroom again. And I was like, I don't know where it is. I walked the hallway to see if I had dropped it in the hallway. And then I was like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, because they had been working on the computer. So I had
Mhm.
to wait outside, and they have a little chair outside, little folding
Yeah.
chair, um, because the door was locked. And I remember putting the script on the floor
Ah,
and reading it while I was sitting there. And then I was like, wait a minute, it has
I
to
know it.
be there. And then I remember checking my phone to see what
Yeah.
time it was because
So you
they
had your
had,
phone.
it was past the time my appointment. So I
Yeah.
remembered that and I was like,
Yep.
oh my God.
You knew
So
you
it
had it.
has
You
to be here. It
but
has to be here somewhere. So anyway, she was
thank
very,
goodness.
I really
Yeah.
like her
That's
a
pretty
lot. And she gives me really good directorial
good.
notes.
That's very good.
So
Yeah.
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 What was your dysfunction?
Oh, so this isn't my dysfunction, but it's just a dysfunctional thing I have to do because of my brain dysfunction. So every once in a while, I have to have an MRI, and I have a pacemaker now. I got a pacemaker last summer, so I said, that's one of the questions they ask you about being in an MRI. And I said, oh, I do have a pacemaker. And so they're like, oh, then you have to go to this special location that's almost up to Wisconsin. and they have the protocol for a pacemaker so that it doesn't come flying out of your chest, which would be bad. So anyway, but then they wanted to do he wanted me to do my neurologist wanted me to do my entire spine. So I was in that MRI machine for like 2.5 hours. So it took
Oh,
forever to
good.
get up there, and then I was in there forever, and then it took forever to get back down because my husband took me up there, but he was at work, so I had to take an Uber back down. So
Oh my God.
that was unpleasant. So no, that guy was fine. Some people want to talk. I just want to sit there. I don't want to talk.
Yeah.
So I'm an introvert. I just want to sit there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was my dysfunction is that I had to spend all day, felt like all day Monday, in a tube.
Yeah, I know. And you're not just, yeah, it's that bing, 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 bing.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
loud and
Yeah.
annoying, and yeah, it's
After
horrible.
after the car accident, I had to have all these MRIs and just,
Yeah,
I had to go to a special place, which,
yeah,
because there's no MRI. I don't know. I don't really understand because the insurance company sends you to a certain place.
right.
So, there are obviously hospitals around me where they obviously have MRIs, but I don't know why I couldn't go there. So I had to go to these
Yeah,
places that only do MRIs in New Jersey,
yeah,
and they're up north, and
of
they're in
course.
they're in kind of industrial areas.
Yeah,
So industrial areas, cheap motels that rent by the hour,
right.
stripper
Oh,
clubs,
nice,
and
fun,
industrial
and
sites.
crime machine.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I'm just driving
No,
like, oh my God. So, and there's all these trucks on the road. So, because you can't drive trucks on the Garden State Parkway. So all
yeah,
the trucks have to take this route to go into New York. And it's just trucks and trucks. So that was, first of all, it's a really long drive. Second of all,
yeah,
it's my gas, to
yeah,
do this.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you want me to go to this special place. Well, then pay for my gas, and
Right,
pay for
right.
my time. Because this is,
Yeah,
like you said,
it's not
it's a whole day.
all day.
Your
Yeah,
whole day is gone,
it is
you
just
know?
long. Yeah, and even though you're just laying there, it wears you out to have
Yeah.
to sit so still and have your head in that little vice,
Yeah.
and it's uncomfortable, and so I was uncomfortable, and I didn't have to pee, fortunately. So until I was almost done, and then I was like, okay, I can wait.
Yeah.
Anyway, because that's also a pain in the ass. You're
Yeah.
trapped in that tube.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's no fun.
And I
And
don't know
they
if,
used to give me a DVD of my brain at the place where I went a long, long time ago, which is always kind of cool
yeah.
to have like an actual, you can see your brain.
Oh,
It's still in there.
yeah.
That's a good thing. Yeah. But it shows where it's all lit up.
Yeah.
That's where the lesions are. When they give you something called contrast, so they shoot some dye in your veins, and then it shows up as like little, like bright spots in your brain where the lesions are. It's kind of fun.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Anyway,
I don't know if this has happened to you though. So they give you a disc, or they send the disc to your lawyer or whatever like that. But I took the
right.
disc to people that do my physical therapy, and the
Right.
doctor, my personal doctor, uh,
Right.
who has someone that does epidurals.
Yeah.
So I wanted to see if I could get an, and both places said, "Well, we can't read this. We can't read the
Oh,
disc."
huh. That's weird.
Yeah, and then when I had to go to the doctor, my doctor, who
Right.
was very scary, the doctor for my defense team,
Right. Right.
not my defense, my
Yeah.
lawyer.
You're accused.
Um,
Yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
said, because I brought him all this stuff. Well, I had the lawyer send it over, and he goes, "Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't read the disc."
That's so weird.
It is
What's the
weird.
point?
It is weird.
Yeah.
And I had uh, a dentist in Chicago who
Yeah.
did this whole like scan of everything. So
Right.
when I went to my dentist friend in New York, you know, I had them send him the,
Yeah. We can.
and Peter said, "I can't read this.
Oh,
I
that's
don't
so
have the
weird.
program. I don't have the program." And I was like, "I don't
That's weird.
understand. This is like a thing now where you
Yeah.
send a disc,
Yeah.
and nobody
So
seems
I
to
was.
have the software or the application to open it. So what is the point
That's.
of this disc?"
I
So I
understand.
don't know. You
I,
never encountered that?
no, but I've never. I mean, I don't. I don't usually like take it around to other doctors because it's not really relevant. So
Yeah,
I was just on a CD, regular, like a CD-ROM,
yeah.
and you know, but yeah, I'm sure you have to have special software sometimes. Though I've looked at it on my computer and it came out fine. So I don't know whether it's a
Oh,
different program, easy, or it's whatever it was, but
yeah,
they don't do that. This new place doesn't do that. So, and I used to be able to like, if I dressed, like I wore, nothing with metal on it. They used to let me just lay there in my own clothes, but they don't do that anymore either. They make you get undressed. So,
yeah. So you had to lay in
and
a gown.
yeah,
Yeah, cool.
fun times.
All right. So,
Yeah.
what is our topic today?
I wanted to talk about because I so appreciate when people want to help me, and I always appreciated people that ask me if they can help me or they try to do things for me or whatever it is, and I appreciate the intention so much. But there are times when the well intentioned comments or actions are actually kind of harmful or just not useful. And for me, one of them is because I tend to like fall down sometimes, which I don't want to tell my neurologist that happens, but I'm a good faller. But anyway, so if I fall down, and people will come over and they'll extend their arm, like I'm gonna like grab their arm and be able to pop back up. Well, one of the reasons I'm on the ground is because my legs don't work, and the only way that's going to work is if you have strength in your legs to be able to push yourself up with just
Right.
holding on to somebody's arm. So it's not useful, and then I feel bad because I say that isn't going to work, And what I say is, I'm going to use my walker, stand, if I'm not up against a wall already, stand very firm so I can use you as a wall so that this walker does not move while I
Right.
get up. And that's useful. And then, and it's fine if I can, help people, but I would prefer they say, can I help you get up or can I do anything to help you? And the one thing that's always helpful to me is help with doors. Help me get the door open. Getting doors open is a pain in the neck.
Right.
And that's one thing that I will never say no to. But, like people will like, back when I was driving and I'd be putting the walker in the car and people would be like, do you need help with that? And I was like, I do this every day of my life. No, I do not,
Mhm.
So, and if I'm, and then if I drop something and I'm on my way, like my body is already making the trip down to pick it up,
Right.
and people go, "Let me get that for you." That's not useful.
Yeah.
I can pick it. I'm doing what I'm already halfway down. Let
Right.
me do that. Sometimes it puts me off balance to stop doing what I'm doing,
Right.
you know? So, if you can see that I'm struggling to pick it up and you want to help with that, great.
Right.
I'm totally good with that. But if you can see that I'm bending down to get it, then I don't need help. So, and I want to do things for myself for as long as I possibly can, because there will come a day where I won't be able to do a lot of, I already can't do a lot of things, but I want to be able to do the things that I'm able to do
Right.
before I'm able to do them. So that's why sometimes when people say, can I help you? And I might look like I'm struggling and I don't want their help, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know if you've had that experience or had things that people have said to you that just chafe you, that really chaps your ass.
Yeah. Well,
Or,
also, I think there's the pity aspect. People pity
yes.
you. They give you that look, like when you go
Yeah.
into a restaurant and, oh, look at her. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, I hate that
And
so
also,
much.
they don't understand MS. I mean,
No.
chances are they don't know anybody with MS, so they think that
Right.
you have, uh, I don't know, Parkinson's, or you were in a car
Yeah.
accident, or
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, you had
Right.
polio or something, or
Right.
you just,
Yeah.
you
Because
were
I
born
don't look
deformed.
very, yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't look geriatric or,
yeah,
like, because I don't know how many times I pulled into a handicapped parking spot and people would go like, no, you can't park there. You can't park there. And I show them the card and I say, yes, I can.
yeah,
And then they see me get the walker out and then they're like, oh, okay. But I actually had a man left me a dirty note. I might have talked about
yeah,
this before, but on at the library before I was only on a cane, or I wasn't even using a cane, I don't think, but I still needed the handicap because I get fatigued so fast.
yeah.
Like my muscles give out, and I can only last so long before I have to sit. So a man left a nasty note on my windshield, and I was like, "How dare you?
Yeah.
That's not helpful." Telling me I can't park somewhere or whatever.
Right,
Don't assume that just because somebody doesn't look handicapped that they don't have a
right.
handicap. Even if they don't get, I mean, for me, like it's obvious I have a walker, but for some people, the handicap is like maybe they have heart problems, or
Yeah,
maybe they have MS, but it just isn't manifested yet.
yeah,
That kind of thing.
yeah,
So don't make assumptions,
yeah.
and don't have pity. Pity's horrible.
Well,
Empathy good, pity bad.
yeah. The the whole point of handicap parking is to be near the store, or
Right,
the whatever institution,
right,
or
yeah.
the
So that you
government services place, so that you don't
right,
have to walk that far.
right,
So whether you're obviously physically disabled, or you have a
yeah,
heart problem, or you have lung
yeah,
problems where you can't,
right,
you know, you know,
yeah.
there's a lot of
There's all kinds
people with
of things.
COPD really bad. They have to have an inhaler, stuff
Right,
like that. They
right.
can't walk very far.
No,
So that's why the handicap spots are not at the back of
are
the parking
there
lot. They're
exactly.
they're near
Yeah,
so that people don't have to walk that far. And now
exactly.
places like, we go to Walmart every 2 weeks, for like a big shopping thing.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and now they have the carts, like the
yeah.
little Jimmy
Well,
scooter
yeah, I love
with
that.
the
That
basket.
that helps me shopping so
Yeah.
much.
And
I
I
love
see a
cart.
lot of people using them.
Yeah, yeah,
Some people are,
because they're useful.
yeah,
Like for me, it's perfect because if I take my walker into a store, if I know exactly what I need or want, and I can just go and get it and come back, then I'm good. But if I want to shop,
yeah,
or if I want to, if I don't know exactly what I want or whatever it is, then it's really I only last about 15 minutes before it's like, no, I'm done. I have
yeah,
to sit, and then it takes me a while to recover.
right.
That's MS fatigue isn't tiredness. It's partially that, but fatigue is like when your muscles fatigue out, like when you've been working out a ton
Yeah,
and your muscles no longer work
yeah,
because you're fatigued. But that happens for me much easier and much worse,
yeah,
where it's not just like, oh, I'm a little worn out, I can't do another leg lift or whatever it is. It's like literally things don't work.
yeah,
I literally cannot move my
yeah,
legs, and I'm not figuratively, literally.
yeah,
So that's another thing that's not useful is that people go, "Oh, I know exactly what that's like," because I used to run marathons. I'm like, you don't know what it's
yeah.
like. If you could run a marathon, you don't know what it's like, you know,
I don't know. I
or
mean, is
you know,
it a brain connection thing where the brain can only transmit, because the
yeah,
brain tells you to move, how to
that's what
move
it
a
is.
muscle, right?
Yeah,
Your brain active. I said this as a trainer. The
yeah,
I said you have to have a mind to muscle connection. So
right,
what you have to do, we'll start off with low weight. but and I'm a stickler for form and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
you have to go to this spot, do not extend all the way, because then your tendons
Right.
become involved, and come back here, don't go all the way. And they're like, but I'm bored doing this. And I said, you have to make
Too bad.
a mind to muscle connection, so that when I say do bicep curls, your brain knows
You know what
exactly
they
what
did.
to do, and it will activate the
Yeah.
muscle. And
Right.
if you have the
Right.
proper form, it'll activate it correctly. That's why you
Right.
study the form. But sounds like what you have is with MS is that the brain just stops sending signals. So
Yeah, well, that's
there's a
what it is.
block.
MS is multiple sclerosis, so that means there are multiple lesions in your brain, and that's what when I the very first time I had an MRI to find out what I had before I knew what I had because I was deaf in one ear and was having double vision,
Right.
and I was like, a tumor? What is this? And the guy said you have multiple lesions in your brain, and I was like, what the hell is that? And then when the neurologist said it's multiple, I was like, oh, scleroses are lesions.
Right.
That's what it is. So what happens is your white blood cells don't know that the myelin that's like your insulation around your nerves around your nerve cells. So your myelin acts as insulation, and in MS, your white blood cells break through the blood-brain barrier, which is like what happens with alcohol. That's why you get drunk,
Right.
because the alcohol breaks away into your brain. So it breaks through that blood-brain barrier because your white blood cells in MS are very, very sticky, or in anybody's body. White blood cells are sticky because they stick to germs and
Right.
viruses and shit and pull it out of
Right.
your bloodstream. So in MS, they are so sticky that they stick to the side of your blood brain barrier, blood vessels. They break through and go into your actual brain, and then they think that your myelin is an intrusive thing or invader or
Right.
whatever. So it gets in there and it scars. It eats your myelin. It doesn't eat through your myelin. It's still there, but it's scarred
Right.
up. So when there's scars, then the brain, the impulses from your muscles or whatever it is, can't get through those scarring. It's kind of like if you had a telephone wire and the squirrels through the insulation, then the sound can't,
Right.
the signals can't go through anymore. And that's the same thing that happens. So you're absolutely right. It's that your brain does not connect to your muscles or it just doesn't send the
Right.
signals. And that's why MS is like they call it the thousand-headed monster because it can impact on anything that's controlled by your brain, which is basically everything.
Right.
So, and my lesions tend to be down in toward the lower part of my brain stem, which controls muscle movement and things like that. So, but it can impact on anything. That's why impact is on. It can impact on your voice.
Right.
It can impact on your breathing. It can impact on everything.
Right.
So,
Right.
lucky me. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
Taking and taking in this
Yeah.
case. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, for
Yeah.
me, with mental challenges and emotional challenges, it's Mario doesn't do it so much anymore, but the "Are you all right? Are you all right? Are you all right? Are you all right?" Which I appreciate, but after a while, you're like, "I'm fine, I'm fine,"
Yeah.
you know.
Stop asking.
But now we have a pretty good
I will tell
communication.
you if I'm not.
It's finding
Yeah.
someone, friends or a spouse or somebody close to you, somebody who understands that when you say, "I don't want to talk about it,"
Right.
I don't feel like talking. It actually, because when I get really depressed, I say it actually hurts to talk. And people don't
Yeah. Yeah.
understand that, but I just want to focus on something else. I just want to be distracted. I just want to be not
Right.
in my head. I just want to be, so I don't want to talk
Right.
about it. And finding someone who really understands that, who says, okay, and I say, just let me be. That's
Yeah.
the thing. And letting people who are struggling emotionally and mentally, just to, kind of let them be, let them, you know, uh, somebody said, about Alzheimer's, and I think this goes for um, every mental, emotional thing. Somebody said about Alzheimer's. It was on a TV show actually. They said, "Don't try to bring them to reality."
Right.
Right? Don't say, "Oh no, 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 that didn't happen. Oh, that wasn't a year ago. That was yesterday. That wasn't. You know, so and
Right.
so is not alive. You keep calling their name and they're not alive.
Right. Right.
Don't try to
That's
bring them to reality. Live in their
no.
world.
Right.
So because they're not coming back. So,
Right.
and I think
Right.
the same
Yeah.
thing applies to people who, experience emotional problems, challenges, and mental,
Right.
just try to live in their world. I mean, for
Right.
me, I've been struggling with this all my life. So,
Right.
I've come to, in the last year, really come to the, the conclusion that this is just how I am. I know it's taken me a long time to get here, but this is how I am, and this is,
Right.
you know, what I am, and I am
Yeah.
challenged, and I have to just accept that challenge, and I have to
Right.
accept that there are good days and there are bad days, and
Right.
that I will never be, you know, emotionally, mentally like fine. I've done this
Right.
all my
Right.
life, so I have to deal with it as it is. I have to live in it. You
Yeah.
know, I
Yeah.
have to live
That's
in it.
like accepting.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. There's a type of therapy, it's ACT. It's acceptance and commitment therapy. And what it means is that you need to accept exactly where you are and commit to just moving through it, not necessarily like changing it or stopping it or the things that like people think they need to do, but it's more like, all right, I'm committed to the fact, or I accept the fact that I have this illness, and I'm going to commit to making sure that I do the things to take care of myself, and to make as much change as I think is
right.
possible for myself. That kind.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think accepting what's going on is a huge thing, and that's true with not just mental illness, but with physical illness. That it's very easy to want to deny and to like say, "Oh, I'm not really that sick" or whatever it
right.
is, but just accept the fact that it's truth, and you can move through it a lot better when you don't try to make it not be true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's accepting it yourself to sorry, um
that's right.
accepting it yourself and being okay with it,
Right,
and but still, living life, but
right,
still
right.
living life.
Yeah, not letting it like take
Right,
over your whole identity and your whole like
right,
existence. I mean, it's very easy to like have MS be my identity, but I want to try to avoid having it be the biggest thing about me, the most important part of my
right.
life. So it's hard to do because it's very easy to like just get like say, well, I can't do anything anymore, so I'm just not,
Yeah,
as opposed to like, what can I do? I've had to give up a lot of things, but there are still things that I can do if I work on it.
right,
So,
right. I mean, you said you do stuff on eBay, and
yeah,
you color, you paint.
yeah,
I mean,
I
it's
do
just
that
something
very
active.
well.
You know,
Yeah,
I've I've gone back to the gym. I'm at full workout
good,
now. I
good.
gained weight, so I'm not really happy about that. But
None,
and I'm cooking better. Um,
good.
I am because Mario has high blood pressure, so I'm cooking more vegetables and more stuff like that. And it's finally warm, although it's not warm today. But we have an electric grill, so you
Oh,
can't have a
cool. So you
grill
can get out.
here, gas or a charcoal. So
Yeah,
the electric is fine. And
electric.
so we've had steaks, pork steaks. I found a place that has tuna steaks, so I want to do that.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
cool.
tuna's great.
Yeah, the Aldi that I go to has always has tuna
Yeah,
steaks.
yeah,
Sorry
that's
about.
okay.
and they're so good. I was trying to look at the temperature because I know it's not that warm
Yeah,
here,
it's cold and rainy
but
today. Yesterday it was 75.
yeah, yeah. No, it's 57, partly cloudy. Tomorrow it's going to be rainy the rest of the week, and it won't get up into the 70s. Yeah, it's only in the 50s and
Yeah,
60s. Chicago
yeah,
weather, fabulous.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
yesterday,
Anyway,
we're getting off topic, but the cold front came through and it was a huge windstorm, and they were showing parts
oh,
outside of Montreal that were just slammed, like things were just blowing in the, like a
oh,
tornado. All right, that is our
yeah,
episode for this week.
yeah. So, yep, just be aware that ask people what kind of help is most useful. That's the best thing that you can do,
So I'm Buck.
you know. And I'm Amy, and we'll see you later.
All right, bye.